Hello and welcome grade 11s to the History Crew channel. This video serves as part 2.2 and deals with topic 3 of your syllabus, which is ideas of race in the late 19th and 20th centuries. We will now discuss how the Nazis consolidated their power in Nazi Germany during the 1930s. Many of the Nazi ideas about race were based on the theories of social Darwinism and eugenics. They adopted his belief that tall, blonde and blue-eyed Europeans were superior to all other people, and that the extermination of other inferior people would mean progress for the human race. The Nazis believed that society was divided into a hierarchy of races. In their view, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Germans, whom they called the Aryan race, were superior to all the other races. They were referred to as the master race, and believed that master race was supposed to dominate all other races. They used these theories to discriminate against those they thought were inferior, which meant all other people who were not Aryan. This led to persecution and death for millions of people, especially all over Europe. If the Nazis had been victorious during World War II, they were then going to impose their beliefs all over the world. It is scary to even think of such a possibility. For example, their theories about race were presented as scientific fact in textbooks. To preserve the purity of the German nation, marriage or sexual relations between Germans and other inferior races were outlawed. These false ideas were even taught at school. You must not forget that Nazi propaganda specifically targeted young children, who then grew up believing what they were taught was the truth. No one is born a racist, but you can be taught to be a racist. Thousands of people who were thought to be genetically inferior by the Nazis were forcibly sterilized so that they could not have children. The Nazis also thought that people with mental disabilities or illness should be removed or excluded from society, and many were even used in cruel scientific experiments. The image you see was just one of the Nazi propaganda posters which were produced. In the poster, the Nazis were promoting the idea that money spent on taking care of disabled people was a waste of money. The purpose of this poster was to make the German people angry, so that they would support the Nazi beliefs. This worked, because many Germans were unemployed and poor, and so they were willing to accept what the Nazis were saying. Leaders like Hitler always use poverty as strategy to gain more support because they know that poor people are desperate to improve their situation in life. The Nazi used the theory of eugenics as a good reason to exterminate millions of people, who they considered to be inferior. For example, between 70,000 and 93,000 mentally ill patients in institutions and clinics were killed in a euthanasia campaign. The Nazis believed that they were doing something that was good for the world by exterminating these people. Laws were passed to discriminate against people who did not fit into the Nazi ideas of a perfect master race, and millions of them were killed. People who were regarded as outsiders were political opponents, black people and mixed-race people, homosexuals, mentally ill or physically handicapped people, criminals and unemployed people. The Jews were the main victims of Nazi race policies. The Nazis tried to kill all the Jews in a policy of genocide. Genocide is the intentional action to destroy a people, usually defined as an ethnic, national, racial, or religious group, in whole or in part. 6 million of the 9 million Jews who lived in Europe were deliberately killed by the Nazis before the end of World War II. This is called the Holocaust. If the Nazis had not been defeated, they might have been able to kill all of the 9 million Jews who lived in Europe. They wanted to totally exterminate all of Jews. You may be asking yourself, why didn't people try to stop the Nazis? So what choices did people have in Nazi Germany? Millions of ordinary people supported the Nazis, but why would they do so? Many people supported Hitler because the Nazis had put an end to the economic collapse, which was caused in Germany by the Great Depression, and the Nazis also promised to bring economic freedom. Many of them also believed the Nazi propaganda that they were constantly told, that Hitler had saved Germany and brought political and economic stability, and the people were often reminded about who to blame for their problems. Some people and groups did resist, but they were eliminated or sent to concentration camps. Some fled the country. Most people just turned a blind eye and minds to what was happening. However, not all German people supported what was happening in Germany, but most were too scared to openly criticize the actions of the Nazis. So they just kept quiet, whilst the evil shadow of the Nazis spread across Germany, then to other parts of Europe and the world. Thank you for watching this video. Please do not forget to watch part 2.3 in this series and to also subscribe to the History Crew channel.